All the way from here? You gonna go? Well, it's a day at the dog park. He is tired. Are you duffed out? No? What you're seeing is the final glove with using the pipes. The finger stalls are made with copper pipe, and of course the standard back plate. This is the first glove I've completed with the copper pipes, so I'm really happy with it. In fact, the aging is still warm on it, so I'm gonna cool it off and go ahead and put it on and talk about it. Okay, so aside from the dog park, this is pretty much what I've been doing today. I didn't really film much of it because this was not an easy process actually to get this done. What I noticed right away with using the heavier gauge copper stalls, basically using the pipe for the fingers, is it really gives this thing a lot more better movement. Cinching it up here on my wrist. What I've also did was adding the shorter fingers to the index and pinky and leaving the middle to the long ones instead of doing it how I used to, which is pretty much the two large and then of course it checkers down. But actually I found out by looking at them that is incorrect. The way they did do it is the two smaller are on the ends and then the two larger and the big in the middle, which makes sense. I did find that putting this finger, this originally was the index finger, which I switched it because it is shorter. I couldn't recall which one I made shorter or not, but the aging is all done by heat and some gun bluing that I put on there, but mostly heat. I did learn that heating the copper does that to it naturally. So yeah, some of it it's still, but I wanted it to weather naturally so that you can get the idea of the copper. So each blade is different. Each blade is contoured differently. Some are more crude than the others, and also the tips of the fingers are folded over better here. But yeah, this is pretty much what I was doing today aside from the dog park. It got frustrating for a moment there, but I had to just kind of step back and just kind of go, okay, what do I do? What do I need to do? What am I doing wrong? And I was really having a lot of hard time with the soldering, so, and it looks like I'm just gonna have to touch up a couple areas here. So, but yeah, that's the glove so far, copper pipe. Okay, so I took the glove, actually the leather glove, off of my original build here. This is just the armature from the original build. I didn't have another glove, so I took it off of this one. This I did know figure out there's a really big difference between soldering in general, because you can't, for what I'm doing here, this soldering right here is absolute garbage. This is Bernzomatic. This stuff is crap. It's too thick. It's and you know what? Even my friend's stuff that was thick like this worked better. This stuff is absolute horrible. I'll never buy this again. The thinner wire is the best, and I buy the thinner wire is by this company called Ote. That's what I think that's how you say it. So that's what I was actually using in the beginning. So I do need to go back and pick up some more of that. I asked Cody about, because I did notice there was, you see the problem with the thinner wire is nobody sells it in a larger spool. So, but I did see some electrical stuff that is in the thinner wire stuff, so I think I may try that. Cody said it's about the same stuff. It's just got more silver in it or something. But I'm trying to use stuff that's lead free. Now this glove has a bigger back plate. I cut it larger, and it's got the bigger rivets in the back. Again, the copper pipe really make the fingers sturdy, and a lot more, the articulation in it is way better. So the glove is actually wet right now because I was running it underwater for trying to get this. I actually had to just repair that. That came off, and man, it's just been almost like one thing after the other. So, but yeah, so far so good. If anything, I may replace this finger with a larger finger. Anyway, but yeah, this is pretty much what I was doing today. I'm messing around with this, and I've already I gotta get Cody over here. Hopefully he'll make some time and come over, because there's some other stuff I was working on. Now these are larger in diameter, meaning I've used 3 3/4 inch pipe. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think here while it's been a long day for doing this. 3/4 inch pipe I used to make this, and this is here is used a 1/2 inch pipe. 1/2 inch pipe is used on that. So these are a lot more beefier. I mean, you can see, and then also the gauge of copper is thicker. It's a lot thicker. So I've got a few of these ready to go. It's a lot harder. I did notice the hole puncher got a little dull from trying to do this heavier gauge copper. I think it's mainly just because it's thicker, but it may have dulled it a little bit. So I'm not sure. It was just getting really tough to punch the holes through that, and I'm just doing one at a time. I did find myself going back and actually annealing the sections that I'm trying to punch, so it's easier. So, but yeah, I did find on the internet, I did find a company that sold the gloves with the leather tab instead of the plastic tab like this. So it looks like I melted the ball a little bit. It might have caught like that. Oh well, it's okay. It's crude. Makes it look really crude. But yeah, and you can see, I mean, you can tell the glove is really heavy, significantly heavier. Although the back plate is thin, still thinner, just because I did wind up getting that 2-inch pipe from Cody. Let me see here in my bag of mess. What do we got? Yeah, I did wind up making actually a really thick back plate. This thing is out of that 2-inch pipe. I did make that. Put a little aging on it, so you can tell it's that beautiful aged copper that I wanted, that I'm trying to achieve, and that was achieved by heat. So if you're trying to do this, aged copper, heat does work really well. So that is a future project. That's gonna go for these thicker, the copper pieces that I got out of the thicker pipe. These are the fingers. You can pretty much see. I don't know how much it'll stand out, but you can just see how much bigger it is compared to that by using the 1/2 inch versus the 3/4. So here's actually another finger I have done. These are ones that Cody and I were working on together, and I may, like I said, I may swap that one finger out. I don't know if what else I have. I do have this one as well. So I got enough miscellaneous parts to actually put together another glove rather quickly, hopefully. Well, I always say that, but this one I thought would have been a cinch and I would have been done with it early today, but as problems occur, ran out of soldering, and I forgot my own golden rule: low and slow with the soldering, and that's why it was getting frustrating and trying to do it. But because really I forgot my golden rule: low and slow. Doesn't I gotta remember. I mean, if for me, for what I'm, and even Cody said too, him being a plumber, he said, what I'm doing here, this is not what he's used to doing. Basically trying to weld a flat, really paper thin sheet on edge and get that done. Yeah, she's a little scared tonight. I'm not sure, so I got a little treat for you. Yeah? Yeah. You're scared, huh? She was really cold this morning, so put a sweater on her. Everything's all blurry because of the light. The light's been messing around. Come here. It's okay. Oh, something's freaking her out tonight. It's okay. It's okay. A little something about me that not you wouldn't know. I have a really big thing for these olives. I'm a big olive person to begin with, so I like these, and I like those green martini olives. Damn. There we go. I truly hope that did not just come out of there as a hair. Oh well, hell with it. I love these things. Yesterday we talked about the Diamondback. I showed you the Diamondback, and a lot of cool comments. You guys really enjoy that revolver. I really enjoy it. It's definitely one of my favorite Colt revolvers. I did touch a little bit on the Colt Python. So I wanted to go ahead and actually mention something about talk a little bit about the Python. Back when I really first went to buy my first revolver in this state, I went to a friend of mine, gunsmith, gun dealer, and I said, hey, I was looking at some stuff. I was buying a lot of Smith & Wessons. I was really looking at the Smith & Wesson. I just had an obsession with Smith & Wesson. So I went to him, and I remember him showing me a Colt Python, and I just looked at it and said, wow, that's quite a piece. Now, this was during a time where basically $500-600, I mean, which is a lot of money, and it certainly was a lot of money to me. It still is a lot of money to me. It's just that I was just getting into it. So when something was presented to me and it was like $500, it was like, whoa, like, hey, okay, what do we got here? So So that right there, it goes to show you a lot of the Smith & Wesson revolvers that I own. That my Model 29 with the 6-inch barrel, I literally paid $450 for that thing. My 8 3/8 model, I think I paid like $680 for it. I bought a lot of these things really cheap. I was able to just locate them and get them. I guess I was just doing this at the right time or what, or you could look at it this way. While my other friends were going out and buying other guns, like AR-15s and whatnot, and spending $500-600 on a Glock. I remember distinctively once a friend of mine he went out to go buy a Glock 19, and nothing wrong with that, but I wasn't actually looking at a Glock 19. Ironically, I was looking at a Smith & Wesson Model 19. That is a K-frame 357 Magnum 4-inch barrel. I was looking into the history of Bill Jordan and all that stuff, and I was really fascinated with that and how that was kind of the gun of a lot of state troopers at the time. So that was what I wound up buying instead. He was doing that, paying $600 for a Glock. I paid $600 for that gun, which is worth a lot more today, I believe. I think I haven't looked them up for a long time, but anyway, in the midst of all this, I remember being shown pythons, Colt pythons, and I remember at one point pulled over and filled up the table with them and showed them to me. I mean, there was an 8-inch barrel, 6-inch barrel, 4-inch barrel, 2-inch barrel, just all the barrel lengths really. And I just remember looking at them, and when I was first shown them, I was given prices like $900, $1,000 in that range. I think like the one was like $1,100 was the high polished stainless steel one, and so I just remember going, man, that's a lot of money. No way. I just felt like that was just like, wow, I couldn't even touch that with I didn't want to, get involved with that right at that point. It wasn't until later on I bought a couple from him, and I did pay, I think, right around the 1,200 range and whatnot, which is a lot of money. I remember saving up a lot of money for it, and able to just say, hey, can I drop you off half of the money, and then come back and give you the other half. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, looking back at that, I wish I would have bought more of them, because I had no idea. I remember him telling me too, this is a gun you want to hold on to. This is, in fact, I think he said something to me. He says, when I bought the 6-inch barrel from him, I think he said, hey, when that thing hits 3,000, sell it. I remember him saying that. So I'm like, and lo and behold, it has reached numbers like that. And to me, when they have climbed up in such high prices. To me, it's like, wow. Sadly, right now, I would not pay those prices for one. Really, because one, it's the money. Two, I don't think it's worth that. I really don't. I really don't think that the gun is worth much more than the $2,000. Or now it's like breaking into $3,000. I've seen some go even more. So, but yeah. If I would have known this, I would have bought more of them, because I would have had a heck of a bank account to fill up by selling these things on Gunbroker. But no, the ones that I do have, I figured to hang on to them, because one, I won't be able to replace them very easily, especially for the kind of money that I paid for them. And they're a nice addition to any revolver collection. If you are a revolver fan, it's kind of the one gun you want to have, I guess. In a lot of ways, I think it's overrated, but whatever. I do like my Smith & Wessons, though. I'm not gonna lie. I think theirs are kind of superior, but anyway, I didn't just say that, right? I'll catch you tomorrow. Really happy that I actually finished a glove using the copper pipe for fingers. Now that I have done so, and I'm looking at it, I know what to expect, and I'm gonna use those heavier fingers and everything, and just really make one ultimate heavy duty glove that I think is just gonna be the one. I don't know, but I do like the copper. This particular copper pipe is actually the perfect diameter. It's thick enough to be heavy duty, so I think there's just some things that I'm gonna add to the next glove with the copper stalls, or I may yank the fingers off of this one and modify. But I think I'm gonna start again differently and do things differently. But I definitely got to get some more of the thinner wire for the soldering. That thicker stuff is just, I don't know. It doesn't work. It doesn't. I think it's just. I think it's just too thick. I really do. I think that's the really what it boils down to. So, anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. Thanks for watching, and like, share, and subscribe as always. And I will see you tomorrow.